Okay. Now we'll move to the next question. I want to change the date format from this to this. So this is something which we can achieve using this as
Correct.
well. Okay.
Hmm.
If you want, you cannot provide any offset value, even that is fine. It's just that these two brackets needs to be there so that it is following uh, the syntax. Now,
Hmm.
second way is there is one more thing which is called TC date operations. Okay. You may be able to see it in your standard modules. If it is not there, you can go to support portal and you can download that package. So you have like 8 package and all those kind of packages are there, right? So there's specifically
Yeah.
something for data operations. Okay, in those you will get a lot of flexibility. So if you want to change the format and let's say in one of the scenarios I want to use this particular format, I can use that particular option. In that you will have 4 different options. So that is a standard module. You can say that this is my base date, and I want to change the format into that. So it will give you 2 3 options. What is your base date, what's the format you want to change it to, how you want it to display. So you can use that as well. It's called TC date operations.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so that's I think that is what the question the interviewer might have been looking for the answer here. But that can be done in this particular way as well. But here you have to follow the entire syntax properly, that you can just import that particular standard module and then you can put those 3 values whatever way you want to get it displayed. Okay. Okay, we'll move to the next question. In Tosca, if you log on to the website, it shows a welcome message every time with every login user. How to do it in how to do test it or test case, right? Okay, so what did you answer for this question?
I mentioned like there is an option like pop-up. We can close the pop-up or else we can hold the pop-up. There is a standard mode is already available in TikTok.
Okay, so we can use that. I think the intent behind this particular question is to understand that if we understand the library concept or not. Okay, so if this message is coming every time, uh, then you can always create a library, okay, that can be used in a lot of different places. So pop-up is right, that could be one piece of it which you answered just now. Other than that, you can create it as a library and that can be used in whichever place you want, right? So whenever, if you log into the website, a message shows this, and that can be integrated as part of the library, so it is taken care of as a precondition thing. Correct.
But the question is like similar to this as well, and they wanted to like understand like every login user. Like suppose there is a 50 different login users, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to launch a website, and every time they get the welcome message. So the test data is different. As to user ID, password, and the particular user is totally different. 50 users are totally different, and every user get the same type of message
Right.
whenever they go on the dashboard or when they successfully log in.
So right. So if you create a library or that thing out of it, right, then you can manage that wherever you want. Now, if they were interested about the engine, then obviously, or the standard module, that could also be one of the key points in answering this. Okay.
Yes, okay. So you said use the reusability.
See, whenever we anyone asks a question, there could be a lot of thought process behind
Correct.
that, and
Behind that,
they could
right.
be looking for n number of things.
Yes.
Now, here they might be looking to tell that okay, if you're trying to use a standard module to uh, cover that pop-up, or if you want to use a different engine to cover that pop-up, or if that pop-up is coming every time. So if someone is asking it every time, this is going to be a scenario which is going to be happening with all the test cases. So we want to have one of the steps. We can have one step which can be used in every test case, or we can have a library as well which can take care of it in the precondition part. So once it is automated, it does not need to be reworked on that at all. So we can answer it in that particular way so that it covers all the different scenarios. And then whatever is the intention of the interviewer behind asking this question, it will showcase that you have thought about all the different scenarios. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
We'll move to the next question. For different work, web, mobile, SAP, Salesforce, do we need to pay extra or pay a single TOSCA license only we get? So what happens is Tricentis offers these licenses based on what timing you're asking, uh, and what is their current scenario in terms of how they are selling it. Okay, so there could be cases in which they can give you as part of a bigger package, or they might charge you separate. Okay, but usually what I have seen is uh, mobile is getting charged separately. Okay, so web is something which comes as part of development license, but mobile is something which you buy on top of that. SAP is also separate. So there are some constraints and it will depend on different projects. So there, for SAP, it should be separate, while Salesforce is something which comes integrated with web automation. Now this is the scenario kind of as of now today, but let's say the Salesforce offering, they have included some very nice feature or something, and they are selling as an add-on package. So that can change based on what time we are dealing with it. But usually you will get one development license which will kind of cover web, uh, some legacy applications, some desktop applications, a Salesforce file scan. Those all things should come as part of one package, and mobile and SAP needs to be bought separately, and that could be the add-on packages. So it will depend uh, on how the company is reaching out and what kind of uh, options Tricentis is giving, because with time it can change as well.
Okay. And one more question they asked me related to the license cost. Like suppose they wanted to go with the website
Okay.
TOSCA license. So what could be the cost for the only for the website testing?
The cost only for the website,
Yeah.
web automation.
Yes, web automation.
Okay, so the cost is going to change with all the like they don't have a specific cost. So
Okay.
if we
Mhm.
talk about any item, okay, this item is going to cost $100, and everyone is getting that item for $100. It does not work in that way with Tricentis. It will depend on what kind of partnership they have. They do offer some discounts, and based on what kind of uh, a larger picture they're seeing in terms of client implementation. So based on that, they will give the amount, and it could change a lot.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
so there is no specific cost which we can say it
Okay.
is for web automation.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. And usually, whenever any client is trying to implement Tosca, they are looking something more than web automation. That's where Tosca is actually helpful. Okay, because if we have just web automation or browser based automation, then you have Selenium as one of the most popular automation tools, which is an open source, right? So why to spend money if you are why to spend so much money if you only have browser automation
Mm,
selected? So
correct.
usually when the scope goes into a lot of different applications or packaged applications like SAP, Cbill, and those kind of applications, then it makes sense to spend money.
Okay. Mhm. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Let's go to the next question. While working as a team, which challenges do you face? What did you answer to this question? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I just mentioned that due to the communication lacking,
Okay.
like if they are not very good in communication or effective communication, so that can be a challenges. And also like skill part, like they have the different skill set. Obviously there might be a challenges. Some are very good in performance but they are not good in mobile testing. Some are good in website but they are not very good in creating test cases, so there might be chances.
Okay.
And tool configuration as well, and the environment availability. So that few point I discussed.
Okay. Okay. So, so see, in this particular question, obviously that one particular factor is there which you have mentioned. That is like the team upskilling and all. Other than that, I think from Tosca technical perspective, we can mention what kind of challenges you might face when you're working with Tosca. Okay. So I can think of something that first thing could be when your repository increases a lot, you might have performance issues. So let's say you have a large team and a large people are working, and the influx of daily automation script creation is increasing a lot. Now your repository size has increased a lot, so you might encounter performance issues. Okay, that is one challenge which I can think of. There is a solution to that, in that you think about how to separate the repositories and deal with that particular performance issue. Okay. Other challenge which I can think of in terms of technical challenges, sometimes people start working on their automation scripts and they check out their folders, but they don't check back in. Okay, and let's say a lot of people are doing that, or at least even one person has done and went on leave or something like that. It becomes, you cannot access that because it is still checked out to that particular user. So you have to reach out to admin to get the checkout revoked and those kind of things. That is one other challenge which I can think, if people are not following the standard practices or maybe missed a couple of times. So that can that can face the other people can face dependency because of that particular item not checked out. Okay. Other than that, there could be other things like it's a heavy tool. So if your system configuration is obviously it needs to have the system configuration so that it can work with Tosca. But if you're running other heavy applications as well as part of your automation script, your system might go a little slow. So in order to mitigate that, you can always use the lighter version of Tosca. So, and even the compacting and all. So uh, when you go to Tosca Commander, you will have the option these days in the new versions that auto compact workspace works. Okay, but if it is not enabled, you can enable that. Okay, other than that, if I go to project and if I go to this option, compact workspace, so basically this reduces the disk usage and optimizes the performance of your workspace. Okay, so if you do things like this, what will happen is whenever you are loading your project, everything is not going to get loaded. You can make exceptions to that, that okay, if you want only standard modules to be loaded every time, you can do that, but everything is going to show you as a image, and not the entire content is going to be loaded. So you will probably get a cloud based symbol like this, and if you want, you can right click and you can use this include for synchronization, and that is going to load with whatever you are trying to work. So uh, that can decrease the space usage and in turn increase your performance. Okay. uh, Other, there could be a lot of other challenges as well. Obviously the upscaling which you talked about, but in terms of infrastructure as well, if we are dealing, let's say, with Tosca and other one of the other heavy applications, then we may need to make sure that everything is up and running, and we have the required infrastructure in place so that everything runs smoothly. Other than that, we can mention what kind of challenges we can face in decks as well. So there could be some challenges in certain of the in some of the applications, like sometimes the keyboard commands works well but not the inbuilt click commands and all the mouse control commands. So that can happen with few of the applications. Other than that, there could be other challenges as well, but we can relate to whichever project we have worked on and answer this question.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I will move to the next question. So in a table of 10 rows slash columns are there, but while scanning, I can only identify 7. How can we go ahead? Okay. So um, this is pretty straightforward. So if whenever you are scanning a web table, okay, and so we have scanned one of the web tables, right? We can use that only. So if I go here and I can use this. Okay. So you will have row and columns, and let's say we are just validating we just have 7 rows and we want to reach the 10th row. So that can be clearly mentioned here. So if I mention 10 here, so it is going to go to the 10th row. Now how that works is it takes the schema of the table and whatever table entries are going to get added, it is going to identify with this particular number what you are mentioning here. So that's how you can work with this particular question, like you can handle that situation here. uh, is this clear?
Yeah, but I given the answer like I need to just verify the scan configuration to ensure that every element should be captured correctly. So I need to adjust the scan setting, and if there any kind of missing row or column, so I need to rescan again the application. I need to identify any kind of manual identification is there.
Okay.
So that's the reason. And also like I need to consult the developer like if I'm getting the scanning issue, so is there any kind of changes or any structure is work around it possible? So
Okay.
I mentioned that as well.
So that probably might be required in very specific instances, but usually it might not be required. Okay, because whenever you capture any table, you will always have whenever you're capturing a table, you will always have things like row and column only. Okay, now this row and column can be defined by us. Okay, that's why a table structure is going to contain row and columns. Now, if I have 4 rows right now, tomorrow I can have 6 rows, 8 rows, 10 rows, 15 rows, right? And I can have reduction as well in that. So that's how usually table entries gets added and deleted, right? So you can handle it easily using the row and column section by mentioning whatever row and column you want to reach to.
Okay, so that dollar option is dollar first, dollar last, and dollar
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
Okay,
you can use that as well. Or if you want to navigate to, let's say, 10th row, and you were able to, like when you were scanning there were only 7 rows, but you want to, you know that when you're going to run the application there is going to be a 10th row which I want to deal with, so you can mention $10 or
okay,
#10. Okay,
okay,
so you don't need to rescan or do anything specific here. Once you have scanned, web tables are rather easy in that terms to work with.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Got it.
The next one is, if the requirement is in login functionality, if the requirement is in login functionality, new pop-ups are added and it's impacting highly on tech 50 test scripts. How to test that, or what is your approach? What did you answer to this?
No, I'm not giving any answer. Not
Okay,
sure about this. Yeah.
okay. So basically, what they are trying to understand here is, so whenever there is something which can be reused in your scripts again and again. Now, usually login is the answer. A login and logout we talk about, but there could be a number of different things in which things could be repeated. Okay. Now, for that, I can create a library, or I can have just one module as well, whatever is the case. Okay. Now, one particular pop-up is added and it's impacting highly on 50 test script. So whenever we are working with Tosca, we need to make sure that we are not having multiple modules created, okay, or multiple libraries created. There should not be duplicate instances of the things. Okay. So what that helps is, whenever there is a change like that, you can just change the base module or the base library, and that is going to, since that is going to reference all the different scripts, nothing needs to be changed in those 50 scripts, and it will work fine.
Okay.
Shall I explain it again, or does that make sense?
Yeah, if you explain it again, so it will be helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So 50 scripts are there, and if everything is referencing to one particular module or one particular library, I can just deal with that particular scenario on automating, and I can add that as part of one of the steps. And then it is going to reflect in all the different test cases, and all my test cases are going to work.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So for that, I'll ask you any other questions you have.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions because while sharing and after that also I given a couple of rounds of interview.
Okay, sure.
So they have some like similar like they are asking like what are the difference between scratchbook and execution, difference between click and X. So that are the common like recovery, cleaner scenario. That one the common one. But in second round of interview they ask like scenario based questions. So obviously it won't be possible to only to understand and give the like answer. So we have to think from the practical way of that, and only we can give that as scenario level of
Okay. Right.
questions. We have
Right.
that couple of that question also, so I can share it to as early as possible.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. So when you get time, you can do that.
Yes, and also a couple of like more scenario based question,
Okay.
so it will be helpful for other viewers as well.
Go ahead.
Because so shall I tell you now only or now?
Uh, if you have a lot of them, we can probably cover we can connect later and we can cover that as part of another video.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you have a few of them, then we can cover it now.
No, I have covered more than 10 like scenarios, so like the same list of number which I already shared with you.
Okay, okay. Then probably we can create
Yeah,
another video and we can connect another
correct,
time and
correct.
we can create that.
Mm-hmm. Because majorly in first round of you, they are only looking for like what exactly you understand about the TOSCA, like definition, which are working for what, like explicit, constraint index, constraint where we are going to use, how the configuration parameter works.
Right, right,
So groups creating a user, creating of like a project. So that is a common one. But
mm-hmm.
while we going to the second round of interview, so they are not asking this kind of basic question. They are directly jump to the your practical relevant experience.
Right, right,
So that won't be possible. Like those are already working. So then only he can give the able to give the answer, or it depends upon the, his experience only.
right, right,
So that is a major. But in your like in Tosca videos, like mostly are covered because related to obstacle courses also they are might be asking the question, but in another way of type of question. The
right,
relevant like naming convention they not ask us,
mm-hmm.
but in the various types of question they are asked related to the same option.
Right, right, right,
So there might be a challenges because we know something that we called for this,
mm-hmm.
but while they're asking the question, we thought like that is not the correct way. This is something different. So there we missed that opportunity.
Correct, correct, correct.
So that is amazing.
Okay, okay,
Thanks, Abhishek, and it will really helpful for me as well and other viewers also, like those who are looking for in automation. Because from manual to automation, it takes a lot of time, but with the help of Tosca, it will definitely get the opportunity. Nowadays, market is looking for Tosca as well.
correct, correct.
So that
Thank,
will
and
help.
thank you for sharing all these questions. It is you have taken time out of your daily schedule and you have given all these. This is very, very much appreciated, and I think this is very good to.
Yeah.
It is going to help a lot of other people as well.
Yes, 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 correct. Even I share with like in Telegram group, they are asking me if you have the question. So basic question I shared them like just focus on this particular types of questions. So at least you're able to clear at least 60-70% of the first round.
Right, right.
So I guided them like those who are looking for some kind of help. So that is very helpful from your side as well, Abhishek.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thanks a lot, Abhijit. We will,
Thank you.
yeah, share your other questions and we can connect on that as well. We can plan
Correct.
something.
Today only I will going to share it. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, chalo. Thanks for your time, Abhishek.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Good
Bye.
day.
You too. Bye.